Guys, stop for a minute. Take a look at your wallet. Your wallet says a lot about you. And let me ask you a question. Is it time for an upgrade? Our friends at Ridge are here to help you step up your pocket game. This incredible wallet is light, sleek, and industrial, but it doesn't fold or awkwardly bulge out of your back pocket. It goes into your front pocket. Ridge wallets, pull up to 12 cards, plus all the cash that you need. You can choose from over 30 colors and styles. That includes carbon fiber and burnt titanium. It is the best wallet you can buy, and you don't just have to take my word for it because there's over 40,000 five-star reviews. I was skeptical at first, but once I tried it, I never went back, and I'm sure you won't, but guys, there's no pressure. Test it out for 45 days. If you don't love it, send it back, get a full refund. If you decide to keep it, and you will, there's a lifetime warranty. Go to ridge.com/Chael or just click the link in the description below and get 10% off with free worldwide shipping and returns. Jon Jones had a teammate come out. I believe the gentleman's name was Castillo, his last name. It came out over the weekend. He just said Jon's got 3 more fights in him. He's going to do 3 more fights. He's going to ride off into the sunset. Now, what does that do for you? Because it does something, right? I mean, they're not all home runs. You don't have to love it, but I feel like it's a double. The laws of scarcity are extremely real. So now we've got a scarcity of Jon Jones. Typically in this sport, I would encourage somebody very strongly to stay away from it. I have seen guys who have announced prior to having an opponent that their next fight's going to be their last fight. That's always a missed order. Get the fight, then say it's going to be my last. Very important that you do it that way. If you say it's going to be your last, there's no promoter in the world that wants to help you. There's no promoter in the world that wants to see you go out on top. That's just not how that game is played. You don't shine up a guy for somebody else that's going to go off into the sunset. It's his job to do that, right? I mean, that's the battle going forth, but you shine up the guy that is going to be back tomorrow. Very basic, very obvious, but I see guys get this one wrong all the time. This next one's going to be my last one, and then they go and get the match. It's very unfavorable, and they go get beat up, and now they're done. So I always encourage guys, don't ever say that. Like, if you've got 3 left and you're not the champion, but you'd like to be, if we take you at your word and we have good reason to believe that your words are accurate, who's going to put a belt around? Who's going to main event you? Now, it's very different when Jon does it. It's extremely different. Quite frankly, I've never seen it done. So I don't know that I fully have an opinion, but it did do something for me, and it did something to the positive. I mean, even if we're going to call it a double, it's something. Can we agree on that? Very different when Jon does it. I only say it because his next fight's for a title, and we all know it. His next fight does not need to be favorable. There's no such thing. It's Jon Jones. What are you going to do? So I do think that it's interesting. I do not know that I buy the 3-fight business. I don't know that anybody would know, but if you look at the age of Jon Jones, what is he, 35 now? He'll be 36. He'll be 44 at the rate that it takes him to do 3 fights. But, you know, in a realistic scenario, he's going to be 36 right off into the sunset. I don't know. If I was to predict for you, Jon Jones, sitting champion of the world, cleaned out 2 divisions now, right? If he doesn't have it, he's going to clean out the divisions. If we're talking 3 fights from now, he's either already fought Francis or Francis is dead and gone and we're not ever going to see that. I can't imagine that he'd want to leave. I mean, in all fairness, for the pay that you could get and the work that you're going to be asked to, look, guys, this experiment is going to go up in smoke if Stipe Miocic doesn't sign the contract. It's over. I mean, in all fairness, the experiment of can this great fighter who couldn't draw for years go and become this massive pay-per-view star in the sport, that is gone in smoke if we don't have Stipe. And the only help that Stipe is, it just gives us a little bit more time to find the next guy. I think the next guy is there. I think he's discovered. I think he's under contract right now. I think that heavyweight is a very tough division, but that isn't the perception of it. And whether you're very tough or not, to be compared to Jon Jones, right? The guys at 205 pounds were very tough. There was just such a gap that the media and the fans couldn't get their curiosity. You don't have Stipe, and Francis is out. Whether that contract comes back around or not, he's out with an injury. So now we're kicking the can. We're going to get Francis back. We're going to get Francis and Jon together. We're going to kick this can to 2023. Okay, I mean, I'll stick around. No problem. 2023 will be here a little quicker. Than you see the problem? So then even if you get Stipe, this is a placeholder to get something else done. You'll keep hope alive. You'll cling. Maybe we get the Francis deal done. Maybe the timing works out. But it's still one of these things. Now, absent of Francis, and for whatever reason not having Stipe as of yet, what do? There is only one match that could give Jon problem, where Jon's really going to have to work. He's going to strategize. He's going to work. He's going to run into a couple of positions. That's just Curtis Blaydes. Nobody is clamoring to see Curtis Blaydes versus Jon Jones, but I'm sharing with you the only one on paper that would have a chance of doing anything. And I'm not even saying win. I'm not even saying upset him. I'm saying make him burn some calories. It's Curtis Blaydes. Tough spot. I mean, it's an interesting position. It really is. Go look at the top-ranked guys. Is there anybody in there that you have a question about? And then what if you still do? It's going to be fun. We're going to get Derek Lewis, we're going to get Jon Jones in there, and this is going to be fun. Jon's a 205-pounder. This whole thing was based on size. Derek's as big of a guy as we could possibly find. Let's go get these guys together. Okay, maybe you have an interest and maybe you have some fun. But when that fight's over, where do you go from there? I mean, it's an interesting spot. It truly is, because it's not too late. It's not too late for anything. 205 pounds and Jon Jones, boy, they go hand in hand. This is a simultaneous thought. Think about a 205-pounder. Think about your history in the sport as a fan. Think of a 205-pounder. You're thinking of Jon Jones. For sure you are. The king of the division. The division lost its interest, at least for Jon. Jon lost interest within the division. That's a fact. Jon may now have an interest. He might. He needs to hear from you. Jon's waiting to hear from you. If I'm wrong and this is totally wrong, let Jon hear it. Say Chael's got this whole thing backwards and it's 205 pounds and Tiavasa versus Jon Jones is a dream fight and now we've almost got... Okay, but let him hear it. If you agree with me and the Prohaskas of the world and the rematches with the Glovers and the Rakic, and boy, this Blachowicz sure is interesting, let him hear it. It's not too late for anything. Nothing is signed. Nothing is done. And not for nothing, but Jon did this entire experiment to attempt to please you guys. Maybe he's never said it. Maybe he's never made it that obvious. This is for you. You showed, and he heard you loud and clear, that you lost interest after he had ran through 205 pounds. So he's coming to a new division. This is for you. If that's where you want him, great. Start making the matches. I have a feeling you quickly dismissed my commentary about Curtis being the most interesting one. I have a feeling that you're not ready to open your eyes yet that we don't have Francis. I have a feeling that you aren't aware that in the absence of Stipe, which is where we currently sit for unknown reasons, Team Stipe has always been very tight-lipped, and quite frankly, I haven't reached out. Maybe if I reached out, I get a very direct and quick answer back, and I just haven't done that. What are you going to do with it? Who are you going to put him with? Where do we go from here? What is the delay? If he was hot enough on his own, there wouldn't be a delay. There's plenty of bodies. Get somebody that can fog a mirror and put him in there. Like, no, this needs to be done the right way. There's a responsibility. Jon Jones is an extremely dangerous human being who cannot just from a responsibility standpoint put him in there with anybody. Jon Jones, take the number one guy in the world and send him to the emergency room. You don't want to see him in there with number 5. Trust me. You don't want to see that. So what do you do? Who are you going to put him with? What is the delay on the Stipe fight? Now we're being told that he's got 3. Being told you've got 3 from a guy that's trying to sell some tickets. We've seen this a million times. Being told you've got 3 from the best fighter to have done it, who's about to emerge in a new division. It is interesting. I'm not calling it a home run, but I'm saying he got on base. I want to know what you guys think. 3 fights left for Jon Jones. Does that pique your interest more, or does it turn you away? Simple question.